Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Hale and I will be your instructor for English 200. Now on the screen here you'll see that I'm making this video using the English 200H My Classroom website, but this video applies to any section that you are in. Now I'm making this video to go over some key aspects of the course and to walk you around our classroom website. This video may end up being a little on the longer side, but I recommend that you watch it because I know that taking an online class can be challenging, especially if it's something that you're not used to, and it can be hard to find all the information that you need. And there's a lot to go through here. So I wanted to kind of give you a tour and give you some tips for success. So when you come to our My Classroom page, it's going to look like this. You'll see announcements that I post here. Every week, I'm going to post at least one announcement where I give you an overview of what we are doing in class that week. And then I usually try to send out reminders throughout the week about when assignments are due or on various topics. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see folders for everything that we're doing in class. The first section here, Start Here, that is one of the first things that you should work through in the class. We have the syllabus here, and then we have a folder for each week in our class. You can also find this information in another place. This is where I like to go when I am navigating through the class. I go to this content button here, and that's going to show you all the folders, but in a way that is laid out that works a little bit better for me. It might work better for you as well. It's like, let's jump ahead to week 1 here. If I click on week 1, each week is going to have a different area. You're going to have learning materials. I'm going to open that up. There'll be a button to launch the lesson. Each week there's going to be an introduction to that week's content, and then there's a section for all the readings and resources that you should use for that week. Below learning materials is a section called activities and assessments. This is where you'll find all of the assignment instructions for everything that we're doing in the class. In a few minutes here, I'll walk you through kind of some of the basic assignments that we'll be doing and when those assignments are typically due. But I like to use this layout just because it's easy to navigate. Everything is right here. You just click, open things up, and these links will take you to all the instructions and resources that you need. Now I'm going to go back to our course homepage here. I'm going to show you one other thing on this page. We have a calendar here, and it lists upcoming events. I don't love this layout. I mean, I think it is helpful. It does show you when things are due. I like to open this up. I click Go to Calendar, and it'll take you to an interface that I think is a little bit more useful. Let's move ahead to the month of July by clicking these buttons. And you'll see each day where something is due. There's a little colored dot there. And so you can just go to that day and you'll see what is due. So July 6th is the first day that you have something due. If we hover over this, it says weekly discussion initial post due. And if I jump ahead to next week by pressing this button, scroll down a little bit, I'll see a number of other things that are due. So on Sunday, July 9th, there's a quiz that is due. There's a McGraw-Hill Connect module that is due. You can also click them to expand on them. You have some discussion board replies that are due. And then this is just a general reminder that this is when the first week's discussion is going to end. That's not a separate assignment. That's still a part of the same discussion board assignment. So that's the calendar tool. I'm also going to be sending out a document that has all the due dates listed as well, in case navigating this calendar here doesn't quite work for you. So you'll have lots of different ways to check to see when things are due. But you'll see that things are pretty much always due on Thursdays and Sundays. Pretty typically, you'll have an initial discussion board post due on Thursdays, and then your reply posts are due on Sundays. Typically, there's a McGraw-Hill Connect module that is due on Sunday. Sundays are also when the major projects in the class are due. Now, you'll see little colored dots under Tuesday. Those are just reminders that that is the last day that you can still take the quiz for credit. So that's what those dots are indicating, and that's the calendar. Now let me point out some other useful things up here. If you click course tools, it'll show you a bunch of things. This can take you to the announcements. This will take you to the assignments, to the quizzes, so on and so forth. The most useful thing here, though, is grades. You are probably used to checking your grades in CAMS. The way that the online English classes work, this is how all the English instructors do it. We pretty much only put grades into CAMS at midterms and final grades. Your weekly grades, all the assignments that you do for the class, those will be put into the gradebook in my classroom. I try to update grades every week. Typically that is done on Wednesday or Thursday. If it's an especially busy week, sometimes it can take a little bit longer than that. Sometimes it'll take me multiple days to get grades in, but at least once per week I update grades. And you'll go to course tools, you'll select grades, and that'll show you the grade that you got for all of the assignments. I would check your grades every week, make sure that you're staying on top of things, make sure that you are getting the points that you deserve. If you don't check your grades, it's easy to overlook things or realize that you haven't been turning something in, or there's been an issue with how assignments have been submitted. The best way to make sure that you're on track is to regularly check your grades. We also have a link here that'll take you to the libraries, a bunch of useful resources there. Later on in the term, I will probably create a video or send out an announcement that talks a little bit more about that. If I open up course tools again, like I said, if you hit this button that says assignments, that will take you to the assignments in the class. I don't typically navigate the course that way. Again, what I like to do is I just hit the content button, and then that way I can see everything laid out for me. Let's now, I'm going to walk you through the start here section. I am not going to read all this information to you. There's a lot of it here. You should read it on your own time. I'm going to summarize things. I'm going to point out what I think are important details, but it is a really good idea for you to read through all of this fairly carefully. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of specific policies that need to be followed. And pretty much every term I will have someone email me in week 7 or 8, and they still don't really understand the late work policy. So do make sure that you look through all of this information. I'm going to hit launch unit. That's just going to take us to the first page. So we have to start here. You can use these arrows to navigate through the different pages in this module. We have a little welcome message here. I'm going to keep moving. We have an explanation of the course structure. This is going to explain some of the things that I have just shown you. So I've covered a lot of this information already. You'll see our standard course activities. You have assignments. Those tend to be McGraw-Hill Connect modules. Most weeks you will have a discussion board post, and you also will have 4 quizzes in the course. There's 1 quiz each week, the first 4 weeks of class. There are no tests in English 200. Down here, you'll have some information about our support services. Our librarian, Beth, hopefully you've talked to her before. She's really helpful. She's very nice. She can help you out with a lot of things. This is her email and her phone number. Here's a link to the library page. I would complete this academic misconduct module if you haven't. You want to make sure that you are meeting Hondros's academic standards. You're not committing plagiarism. We have resources here on how to write in APA format. So we have a template for APA style papers. We also have an APA style guide and some more information on in-text citations, references, and other things. You don't necessarily need to look through all this information right now, but just be aware that it is here. APA is a part of this course. It's always going to be a part of your grade. And it's an easy way to lose points if you aren't properly formatting things in APA. I'm going to jump ahead here. We have course policies. Please read through the syllabus. We'll get to that in a minute. We have an explanation here on grading, and then a lot of our policies are explained in the course catalog. I would make sure to look through all of these. If you have taken Hondros classes before, this information hopefully isn't new to you. I will the one thing that may be new to you that you might not be used to is how late work works in an online class. And what we call an asynchronous online class. So a class where there are no lectures that you need to attend. Largely, this class is kind of self-paced. You can log on and do the work when you want to. There are due dates that you have to meet. So you can't just turn things in whenever, but there are no specific class times that you need to attend. Now, how the late work works is a lot of things you can turn in up to 2 days late. So your major projects in the class, those can be turned in up to 2 days late. Your quizzes can be turned in up to 2 days late. The initial discussion board posts can be turned in up to 2 days late. Basically, the only exception is the reply posts. The reply posts are due every week on Sunday. Those cannot be accepted late. For everything else, it can be accepted up to 2 days late, and you lose 5% of the assignment grade for each day that it is late. So at maximum, you're only going to be missing 10% of an assignment if you turn it in 2 days late, which is really not bad at all. It's much better to turn something in 1 or 2 days late than to not turn it in at all. If you turn it in more than 2 days late, I am no longer allowed to give you credit for that assignment. So make sure that you get things in. I'm going to jump ahead here. We have some guidelines on what to expect from communication in the class. One thing that I will say is I am pretty good about checking my emails every day, typically multiple times a day. However, sometimes I will reply right away. If you happen to email me when I am already looking at my email, usually I try to respond immediately unless I have something else going on. But a general rule of thumb, both for my class and academia in general, in case you didn't know this, people will typically get back to you within 24 hours. So make sure that you give the person that you were emailing a full 24 hours to respond to you before you email them again or before you go contact someone else. Now, if you do wait 24 hours and you don't hear back from me, feel free to send me another email. Gently remind me that you have asked me a question or you need help with something. Occasionally, I will just overlook someone's email. I don't mean to, but it does happen. But please wait at least 24 hours before sending another email. I do try to get back to people as quickly as I can. Let's see here. I'm going to move ahead to the next page. Here's a rundown of our course technology. I will let you read most of this on your own. The thing that I will highlight is Turnitin. For all the major projects in this class, you will be submitting your paper via the program Turnitin, which detects plagiarism. You should always give yourself enough time, turn your papers in early so that you can look through your Turnitin report and make sure that your paper does not contain plagiarism. If your paper has been plagiarized, typically I will ask you to rewrite it. If you already have a previous plagiarism offense, you will receive a 0 on the assignment, and the penalties for plagiarism just get more strict from there. You want to make sure that you are not plagiarizing things. We have a guide here on how to use Turnitin. If you are worried at all about plagiarism, you don't really understand what that means, let me know. I'd be happy to explain it to you and give you some guidance. Here you have information about McGraw-Hill Connect. This is a third-party program that we use for our textbook as well as some of our assignments. Here you'll find some instructions for logging into McGraw-Hill for the first time. Here's a button that you can use to access the assignments. We have some how-to videos as well. You'll see a rundown of all of the weekly modules that you'll be doing. You also have you have an email and a phone number that you call for support. If something with McGraw-Hill is not working, you are welcome to email me. Sometimes I am able to figure it out. or I can give you, tips or advice. But other times, if there are just issues with the program, there's not a ton I can do. So let me know, just so I'm aware of the situation. But you may also need to contact McGraw-Hill support in order to get the issues resolved. Now I am. Oh no, I'll save that for later. I'll show you what one of these assignments looks like here in a minute or two. Here you have information on course help. So if you need technical support, you can email the help desk or call this number. If you need help with My Classroom specifically, which is what this website is on, you can email My Classroom support. As far as help with your your homework or the concepts being addressed in the class, please email me. My email is jhale at hondros.edu. I will show that to you again in a second. I'm the first person that you should contact if you're experiencing issues with the class. If you have absences or you have makeup work, or you want to try to make up work, you can contact me. I will probably direct you to your dean or your director of nursing. Again, how I can't really speak for in-person classes, how online classes work. If you missed an assignment because you were sick or you attended a funeral or something like that, I cannot approve those absences. Those must be approved by your dean or by the director of nursing or an assistant director of nursing. Someone higher up than me has to approve those. I am, if you have a legitimate reason why you missed work, I will always be happy to let you make that work up. Just how Hondros structures their policy, I have to get that signed off by one of the people that I just mentioned. So if you did miss an assignment, you want to try to make up some work, let me know. Just keep in mind that you will also need to contact your dean or your director of nursing. Here we have Adam Bolazak's email. Adam is the Dean of Accreditation and Compliance. He is the kind of person that you would contact, like if you maybe have issues with, like, if you had like an IEP in high school, or you need some sort of accommodation for a disability of some kind. Adam is who you would contact about that. Every semester I have people emailing Adam about the assignments in the class. That is not his job. If you have any questions about course concepts or assignments, please let me know. And that completes the Start Here module. I'm going to take you to the syllabus now. I'm not going to go over the information in this document. This is just where you find the syllabus. Please read through this. There's important information here. What I am going to show you, my contact information. So again, my name is Jacob Hale. This is my email here. If you want to have a phone call with me, just email me first. We can set up a time to do that. I'm also happy to Zoom with you. And I do have office hours / tutoring hours multiple times a week. Those are a good time to drop in and ask me questions or get help with assignments. But if you need anything, please just feel free to email me. All right, I'm going to jump back to content here, and let me walk you through our first week of class. So I'm going to launch the unit here. We have an introduction. Next, we're going to have learning materials. Oh, that's just the overall heading. We'll actually get to the learning materials in a second. I'll let you read through this on your own. We have information about the McGraw-Hill Connect assignment, discussion forums, the quizzes. I'll let you read through that on your own. I'll probably add a couple of notes on those things here in a minute. Here are the readings and resources. Here's a video on how to succeed in English 200. The video that I'm making right now covers some of these things, but it wouldn't hurt to watch this video. Another English instructor here at Hondros made that, so watch that. We also have a video on how to make discussion forum posts. Here are the readings that you should do for this week. And we have some helpful videos about McGraw-Hill Connect. Now we're getting into the activities and assessments for the week. First of all, we have the McGraw-Hill Connect module. For these, you need to get a 100% on them, otherwise you will not receive credit. So even if you get a 99%, it still counts as a 0. You must get 100%. What the program does is it will keep asking you questions until you get 100%, and it will target the areas that you seem to be struggling with. So if you're missing a lot of questions in a certain category or about a certain topic, it'll keep asking you those types of questions until the program feels that you have mastered the concept. These are not timed. You can take as much time as you want on these. These are due by 11:55 p.m. every Sunday. And let me show you how to actually do these assignments. So you notice I clicked that button and it took me to our McGraw-Hill Connect page. I have already logged into McGraw-Hill Connect for the first time, so I don't need to follow these instructions. I'm just going to click this to access our Connect course. And now my interface here might look a little bit different than yours because I'm an instructor, but I'm going to switch over to the student view. And now this should be pretty similar to what you see. So we have all the weekly modules here, all the assignments that you're going to need to do. I'm going to open up this first one. And I'm going to, let's see, I think if I hit this button, oh, interesting. I'm not sure why this is not letting me launch the material. Well, I'm glad I checked in on this. Oh, I see. So this is, I'm making this video a little bit too early. I think this assignment will open up July 3rd. But basically, you will click on the title of the module. Right now, this is locked, but later, when it is not locked, you'll just hit this button, and then there will be a button to launch the assignment. There you will see an option to do the reading. You'll also see a button that will take you directly to the questions that you need to answer. The questions are based on the reading. Once this module unlocks, I will probably create another video showing you how to access it. But that's the basic overview of how these McGraw-Hill Connect assignments work. The McGraw-Hill Connect modules, those are our textbook for this class. There is no physical copy of the textbook. It is an ebook. The ebook is built into the McGraw-Hill Connect assignments. So for week 1, you have this first McGraw-Hill Connect module. You also have a discussion board post. Your initial post is due Thursday of this week by, that is week 1, by 11:55 p.m. You will have a discussion board post due most weeks. The initial post is always due on Thursday. Your reply posts are always due on Sunday. You need to do a minimum of 2 posts. Here is the discussion rubric. Please make sure to read through this. This will show you how you are graded for both your initial posts and your reply posts. For your initial post, this is what you need to do. The initial post is worth 8 points. During this course, you'll be interacting in your discussions in a writers group, a small subset of the whole class. So you won't be interacting with everyone, you'll be interacting with a small group. For this assignment, I want you to discuss at least 4 areas of your life, and I have some ideas here to get you started. For your reply posts, you need to do at least 2 replies. So it's going to be 4 points per reply for a total of 8 points. And I give you some guidance here on what you can say in your reply posts. Your initial post needs to be a minimum of 250 words. If it is not 250 words, you will lose points. And again, check the rubric for the guidelines for the quality of your post. If you use any sources for this activity, they must be cited in APA format. In a second here, I'll show you how to actually start a thread. Your reply posts, these need to be 100 words each. Try to reply positively and thoughtfully to your peers. We also have some tips for success for these discussion board posts. And let me click this link here. This will take us to the discussion. and I will show you how to actually make a post. Oh, there we go. Just needed to scroll up a little bit. So we have some instructions here. What you're going to do is you're just going to hit start a new thread. Now I have the option to reply to all or to post in all groups. You will automatically be assigned a group. You don't have to worry about that. It happens automatically. Give yourself a subject. So you might put something like introducing me or week 1 post, you know, a little about me, and then you will type your post in this box. When you are ready to submit, you will just hit post. When someone has made a post, you will see that in the discussion board and you will be able to reply. I'm gonna, let's see, go back here. And let me take you back to the learning materials for this week. I want to highlight something for you. So this video, how to make discussion forum posts, this is a more detailed, more in-depth explanation of how to make the discussion forum posts. I covered a lot of that information already, but if you want kind of more specific examples, I did already make a video about that here. So you can take a look at that. Let me jump back to the last assignment this week. So we had our McGraw-Hill Connect module, we had our discussion board posts, and then you're going to have a quiz. Now, because I'm an instructor, I can't really take the quizzes. You will have a button that says Start Quiz. These quizzes have no time limit. You can take as long as you want on them. They are due by Sunday each week. As I mentioned before, there are only 4 quizzes in the class. It's the first 4 weeks of class. You can also take these quizzes as many times as you want. So if you take the quiz, you didn't get a score that you're happy with, feel free to take it again until you get a higher grade. I will also point out that if you take the quiz late, you will receive a penalty. If it's 1 day late, it's a 5% penalty. If it's 2 days late, that's a 10% penalty. But that's really not that much. So if you need to take the quiz late, please try to, get 100%. And if you get a 100% and it's 2 days late, you're still going to get a 90% on the quiz. That is an A for the quiz. So it's always worth it to do assignments late as long as you're within that 2-day late period. And that is it for week 1. Now let me say something here. You may complete all of the assignments in the class, and this progress bar, will still not be complete. That is because the McGraw-Hill Connect assignments, that is through a separate program. That program is not as well integrated into our My Classroom website as it could be. There's not a lot we can do about that. So don't freak out if you feel like you did all of the assignments and this progress bar is still showing that something is missing. Until I go in and put in grades for the McGraw-Hill Connect assignments, this will basically always show that you have something missing. I am going to send out a weekly checklist, a to-do list for you where you can check off all the things that you need to get done each week. So you can basically ignore this progress bar. It's not super reliable. Anyways, that gives you a rundown of the class. I have some people doing yard work outside. Hopefully you can't hear that. I did put a noise filter on my microphone, so hopefully you're not getting any of that noise bleed. But that gives you a rundown of the course, some of my tips and tricks. If you ever have any questions, anything doesn't make sense to you, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you out.